to excellence.
Good day, pupils at home. I'm glad to meet with you once more. Today we'll be looking at another subject, Christian religious studies. And the topic we'll be looking at is God creates and wants us to create. Now, I guess we know that creation is making things. Now, to start with, to create means to make or cause something to happen out of nothing. When you say I can create, that means you can make something to happen. You can create something out of nothing. Now, before we proceed, what is creation? Creation is the act of making something new. Now, you can decide to make something new, something that has not been made before, or something that you've not done before, and you are able to put things together and make them. That is creation. God created everything in the world by spoken words, except man, who was created in God's own image and likeness. We all know in our previous class that the world was created by God, and without him, nothing was made. Now, God created everything in this world. How did he create it? He did that creation through his spoken word. He just said a word, and it came to pass. Wherever he says, came to pass. He said, let there be light, and there was light. Let there be this, and there was this. Ah, what a wonderful power that he possessed. All right. The only thing that God did not create with the spoken word is man. We are going to see more of that in our next class. All right, let's proceed. Creation by spoken word means saying a thing and it appears. When God says a thing, whatever he says, it appeared. That was how God was able to create the world with his spoken words. Okay, story of creation. Now, the story of creation can be seen in the book of Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 to 25, and also Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. We are made to know that in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without shape and empty. There was no light, no trees, no animals, and human beings. Imagine how the world would have looked like as at that time. Everywhere was just empty, dark, and void. And the Bible also told us in the book of Genesis, where our text is taken from, that the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. The Spirit of God was the only thing that could be found on the face of the earth as at that time. Now, God decided to create. And he created the world, one thing after another, in 6 days. God did not just come all of a sudden and decide to make everything once. He took his time. And created it one thing at a time, which took him 6 days. And he rested on the 7th day. All right. The creation story. How did God create the world? Like we have said before, that God took his time in creating the world, which is step by step. On the first day, God created light, which we can see. He said, let there be light, and light appeared. Now, from what we have here on the board, you can find out that we have the light and the darkness. How did God make this happen? God, after creating the light, the darkness did not just disappear. What did he do? He separated the darkness from the light. And the darkness he called night, the light he called day. That God did on the first day. He had to wait. Then, the second day, God created the firmament or heaven, which includes the skies and clouds. Now, looking at the picture we have here, you can see how beautiful the world is becoming. Initially, it was just empty and void, but right now the world is becoming beautiful. Now we have the lights, we have our heavens, which it can also be called a sky, and we are having now the earth. What a wonderful story. Now, on the third day, God created land, sea, and vegetation. To refresh our mind, remember, on the first day, what did God create? He created the what? Light. On the second day, God created the heaven, which is also the what? Sky. Now, on the third day, God thought of it. What else can I do to this sky to make it beautiful? He created the land, seas, and vegetations. The vegetations include the trees, flowers, grasses, and other things. Now, look at the earth. It's becoming beautiful. Remember, initially, the earth was without form, void, empty, dark. But can you see what God's creation is causing to the earth? Everywhere is becoming so beautiful. Now the trees has been added, the flowers, the fields, the seas has been added to the earth. It's now becoming a beautiful place. After that third day, God waited. Now on the fourth day, God created the heavenly bodies. These heavenly bodies include the sun, the moon, and stars. Look at the earth here. Looking at the sky, all these heavenly bodies are placed above the earth. The sun, the moon, and stars. That is what God created on the fourth day. Handwork of God. Now, as we proceed, on the fifth day, God created sea animals such as fishes and birds. These fishes to live in water and birds to fly in the air. Here are some of the creations of God. Hope we can see the fishes, the birds, how God is beautifying the earth with a gradual what? Process. He didn't go over this process just at once. He took his time to go through the process. Now, on the sixth day, God created land animals like cattle, sheep, lions, dog, and other animals. This then, and after this, that was when he did what? Created man on the sixth day. Now, let's go over to what we have been doing, what we have learned. We remember we're talking about the creation story. We remember we said on the first day, God created the light. And the light is separated from the darkness. The light is called the day, and the darkness is called night. On the second day, God, who can remind us? I guess you can still remember what God created on the second day. On the second day, God created He created the heaven, which is also called the sky or clouds. Now, on the third day, God created the vegetations, land, seas, and vegetations. On the fourth day, God created the sun and the stars. On the fifth day, God created the sea animals and the birds that flies in the air. Then on the sixth day, God created the land animals and human beings. So that is to tell us that the same day God created the land animals, that is the day he also created man. I guess with that, we have learned how God was able to create the world that we are in now. Now, on the seventh day, God rested after he had created all things. After work, man has to rest. That is what God is trying to teach us, that we have to rest after we have worked. He blessed the day and made it holy. This day is called the Sabbath day. The seventh day that God rested is called the Sabbath day. So, Sabbath day is a special day where people are supposed to rest and worship God. So, as a Christian, you are expected to keep the Sabbath day holy by resting and worshiping God. To remind us again, we said that in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was empty, shapeless, formless, dark. And God created everything on the earth within 6 days. And on the seventh day, he rested. Thank you for listening. We'll continue in our next class.